then guys, quick 5 minutes. The food I've got left. So I'm not going to buy any more food until I need to. So what we've got is I'm going to make my little winter concoction now. So I've got about 20 kilos of sappy growth sinking, about 10 kilos of sappy growth small pellet floating. This is the small pellet floating colour enhancer, and what I'm also going to do is put in 1 kilo of very high grade silkworm larvae or pupae in there, mixed up. That should last me until about at least Christmas, and then I'll get some more sacks in. So normally I'd keep the small for the toes out, for the grow on, but I don't want it to go off. The sacks are open, they've only got so much of a shelf life, I would suspect, with the sacks open. So let's get this in there, do you know what I mean? Same stuff, smaller portions. Lovely, there we are then guys. So all the stuff, give it a good mix up, and this is going to be my winter mix. Get some body on these bloody fish. Look at that, doesn't that look appetizing? Here we are then guys, I eyeballed the mix, and I had quite a lot of floating colour small pellet, and I do not want to overdo it for secondary Benny. So as you can see here, it is the very green looking stuff is the coloured small pellet. The brown stuff is the high growth protein pellet, the small one, and then the bigger pellets are the sinking. And then obviously we've got some real good quality silkworm pupae, and they are packed full of goodness. In fact, let's try one. Not the worst thing I've tasted. Yasmin's spaghetti bolognese, definitely worse than that. So there we are then guys, my view for tonight. Just been sitting yet, oh, a little tiny slow, heading for my mind your own business. But anyway guys, sitting here tonight with a glass of wine, just looking at my fish. I'm thinking about what an amazing trip I had in Japan. And also how I wish I was still there. So anyway, the Nagata show was a success apparently. Really wish I would have bought that Sankey now from NND. That one mature champion from SEBA. Hey, you learn some and you lose some. No, you win some and you learn some. You know what I mean. But anyway, that fish had a hefty price tag on it, so yeah, maybe not. But anyway guys, I just want to say, wow, yeah, Yaz just poked me in the bloody eye. I'll get her back later. Anyway, I just texted her in my eye and she goes, I'm still laughing. Anyway, welcome back guys. I am back from Japan with Sniper's Eye. And if any was a sniper out there, you'll know what a sniper's eye is. So, I'll actually tell you what a sniper's eye is because it's really funny. So, when we used to be on the ranges, when I was in Free Para, all the officers loved to come down and shoot the sniper rifles, alright? So with a sniper rifle, the L96 and the 338, different caliber rifles, one's like a 7.62, one's a 338, Penn's 338 sniper rifle. They've got a decent kick on them, bolt actions, they've got a real good recoil on them, right? And obviously, when you're looking through the scope, you've got a certain eye distance which is comfortable and makes everything focus properly. And it also, when it's against your shoulder and you're holding the weapon system correctly, you absorb that recoil through your body, and the scope really doesn't come and hit your eye. So, well, it's hit me once, but it's a long story. So when we used to get all like the officers down behind the weapons, we used to go on. Yeah, a little bit closer to the sight, sir. A little bit closer to the sight. That's right, sir. That's perfect. You've got to be right up next to the sight. And they used to shoot it, and they get like they split their eye up there. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But they, you know, like they'd split where it hits the bone. It would like split the skin. And it's called sniper's eye. But she got me a good one there. I got a cold sore as well because I'm run down. But anyway, I was in Tesco's and I found some chopsticks. The vein of my life. I just thought I'd take them out, I don't know why. But anyway, good delivery day today. I got some sake floating from my friends at Exclusively Koi. Thank you very much, Kevin and Ryan. Fantastic. So, obviously, what I'm doing for the feed now, guys, is, there we are. I've got a nice concoction, a nice mix going on there. So, all I had left, realistically, I think I've said it on the start of this video, but I've only got the small floating. Okay, so what I'm going to do is mix some of that in, but I don't know if I can be bothered yet, so I might just stick that in there and store it out the way. Waving the camera around there, making everyone dizzy. But since I've been away, the pond has run absolutely fantastic and it's not missed a beat. And ironically, the numbers, there must be hardly zero salt in there now because my TDS is at 140. So normally out of the tap it's about 100 to 70. So very, very close to having zero salt content in there now, which they really don't need any because they're happy fish. I think I was talking to Kevin actually a couple of days ago, whilst I said I needed some more food, and he was saying that the shipment for the koi from Japan is coming into Redford on the 9th or the 10th. So that's that's next week at some point, next Thursday or Friday. So I think I'm going to go across to see that. So I'm really excited. I've got that little Sakazumi Chibinisai, ones with loads of dans, the Kawaku. So that's going to be really cool. See that unboxed. Obviously my stonking Kawaku from Yamaguchi and Uncle Takano's Sankey replacement. So I'm really looking forward to getting those in there. In the pond. So obviously they're not going to be going in next week. They've got the QT period, so it'll be just after Christmas, maybe, or just about Christmas-ish time. So maybe I'll go out for a spin. But people keep asking me, what did you buy over in Japan? Didn't you buy anything? No. I told you guys, I am mentally strong. So the amount of fish that I seen in Japan that I wanted was insane. There was a couple of amazing Kawaku from Hoshikin that was coming out. There was Odakan, some Kawaku and some Showa, particularly one Showa in Odakan was absolutely beautiful. Then we had that amazing Ginrin Kawaku from Sakazumi, I think it was. Now, that was 500,000 yen, pretty much. And I almost made up my mind there and then that I wanted that, but there was just something. It was such a long trip, guys. You know what I mean? You know, it's an expensive trip for someone who doesn't do it. It's not my livelihood, is it? So going across to Japan, a couple of grand on a flight, grand on hotels, grand on food. You know what I mean? Like 4 grand, and not making money when you're in the UK. That's a lot of money, mate. You know, for someone who actually works for it. So I held back a little bit, and also, truth be told, the real love of my life in koi is actually selecting tozai and getting those put into the mud ponds and seeing them getting harvested. Buying a fish at Nisai that's already been harvested and there's no selection and there's no risk there and there's no foresight of what it could be. If someone gave me a fish, I'd have it, but it's not my kind of thing. I'd rather go and source my own fish and see, well, and run the gauntlet actually, just put it in the mud ponds and see what's happening. But again, I was out here yesterday, sitting on my drum, looking at my fish yesterday, and I was just so delighted. I was here for 3 hours. I was talking to Amir from Coy Water Barn just about fish for 3 hours, basically, sitting on there with a couple of glasses of wine. And I was like that. I was literal to him. I was like that, dude. I said, like, you know, every fish in my pond, you know, like, I'd buy over again. I'm really happy with the pieces I've got at the moment. Yes, they're lacking on the size, but that's going to come. But like I said, I don't really like buying established, mature fish. I'd much rather buy something that, you know, you can just experience the growth and the development of what's going on. I think that's the real beauty. But anyway, I got to show you something as well. I think I did show you on one of the videos over in Japan, but Ryan, bless him, treated me to a secret. Look at that little measuring bowl. How cool is that, with my logo and stuff on it? You know, so cool. So if you're wondering what koiarmories.co.uk is, that's going to be a little dry goods shop that I'm actually setting up in the kind of near future. You know, nothing. I'm not right desperate to do it, but I just want to, just something, isn't it? Selling some merch and some Matsuba nets and maybe some food and stuff. You know, but yeah, I think that's quite cool. It's all aluminium as well. They're really cool. I think they're looking into making these themselves. So we'll see what happens. But I quite like those. That is probably the best one I've actually seen. It's way better, I think, than the plastic ones and the fiberglass ones. You know, and like, these aren't sharp either, guys. These are all been rounded over and they're not sharp at all. So there's no problem with that damaging fish. But what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to the cinema. I've booked the cinema for me mum, my nephew and my sister and myself to go and watch the new Exorcist film. Get out! So it's going to be good. Looking forward to seeing that. But what we're going to do now is we've got a few hours to kill. Thought I'd do a little bit of videoing for you guys, and I'm going to go down the shed. I'm going to get a glass of wine, go down the shed, and I'm going to try to sort that out. So I'll meet you down the shed. Here we are, guys. So I just realised it's actually not that bad. I've got to try to find some bits and bobs because Wolf is bang into, wait for it, survival now. And who better to have a dad like me who's a survival expert? Well, I used to be, a bit rusty now. But anyway, we've been out making little dens and shelters and he absolutely loves it. But show me the shelter then. Walk around it and explain everything.
It's a shelter.
Be careful, don't go on it. You'll break it if you... No, you're going to break it. Oh, yeah. So this is your emergency shelter, is it?
I need to make a door.
You need to make a door, okay. You make a door. Yeah, it's all pretty nice. This is cutting edge grand designs of emergency shelters. I'm looking for my, I got like a bushcraft hatchet here somewhere. But yeah, let me show you this, guys. So the motorbike will also be on the mend at some point. I've got the QT pond to still finish, if you look behind me. So the QT pond is still going there. Haven't done nothing, obviously, since Japan. That is not particularly a massive rush because there's nothing going to be going in that until after the new year. Well, February. If I go down Tozai hunting in February to Japan, yes, I'm going to go back in February. So it depends what the funds are like, but I totally envisage me going back to Japan for at least 10 days, I would say. So that's going to be another little series of events, isn't it, for everyone? But let me show you the motorbike. The motorbike is really coming on. Well, it's not. The paint's come back. So there we are then, guys. We have got a fully painted tank. Obviously, I've got all the new fittings and all here to go on there. So this is all done. I've even had my helmet sprayed to match it. Okay, I don't know why. I'm going to look like a right freak on it with that. But we've also got The wheels are all done. So we got the BMW Motorsport on this. And I just wanted to do it classy black with a little bit of gold, just so it just looks nice when it rolls, isn't it? We've got the other wheel here. But obviously this is a GSXR front wheel, and when I get the spokes put back on, they're gonna have gold stars in them. And yeah, well, we'll do that when we come to it, but not quite yet. Oh my word. And quite keen to get back on the mountain bikes, to be honest, but little and often. And also, because remember, I think on the last episode of the Japan trip, I got Tafaguchi Nishinagoi written out by a lovely woman there, Japanese calligraphy, right? And that was actually written out for me on a meal that we went out with Yamaguchi, all right? So, and Kobayashi. Mate, he is elder boy, Kobayashi. He was texting me over there. He's hilarious. So, I know for a fact Tafaguchi now is written right. It was very difficult because, like, Yamaguchi was like that. Oh, Tafaguchi. You had to work it all out, and I think he's pretty educated, to be honest. So, there's, as far as I'm aware, there's 3 different alphabets for the Japanese language. So, basically, you've got the really, really complicated one, which is the one I wanted, is quite difficult to do. Apparently, I don't know much about it anyway. But anyway, is the piece of oak that I've got. Now, I bought this to do the bar in the other one, but I'm going to use that. Tafaguchi Nishinagoi. Right, so that is going to be hanging in the pond or something. It's there, and I've got the writing, so I'm going to use it. It's going to look cool. But what we do need to do is a little bit of cleaning. I'm going to go and watch a film. I just haven't got it in me. You know, since I've come back from Japan, I'm just like wandering around with my tail between my legs. Thinking to myself, oh yeah, I'll do it. But I've been spending so much time with Wolf that it's been really fantastic, to be honest. He's proper blossoming into like a right little wretch at the moment. So it's going to be good.
We chucked a bit of food in, and these ponds are just all interconnected. Like, you can't walk anywhere, like, and literally the whole polytunnel's full of Hiyatsuri.
Yeah.
And typically when we think of Hiyatsuri, Shinoda, that's where we jump to. So I think there's value